Hi everyone, my name is Hoagland, and this is my methods presentation over the effects college athletics has on mental health. So we'll go ahead and get started. I do have 3 research questions. The first one, what is the relationship between college athletes and mental health issues? The second one, what is the difference between the mental health of a college athlete and non-college athlete? And then third, which of the following variables, a coach's stress and performance anxiety, is the strongest predictor of mental health issues among college athletes? Next, I do have my hypothesis. So I actually have 2. The first one is the directional hypothesis, and I said that I hypothesized that college athletes are more susceptible to mental illness than a college student who is not an athlete. And then the second one there is a null hypothesis, and I said that there is no correlation between college athletics and a mental health issue. So the independent variable of these hypotheses is the college athlete status. So that means whether or not they're a college athlete. And then the dependent variable is the susceptibility to mental illness. The statistical test that I will need to answer these is the chi-square test, and this is because I want to see the relationship of being a college athlete and the mental health status. So moving on to the sample of this study, I will be using athletes here at Eastern. So they do have to be a college athlete at Eastern Illinois University. They will be between the ages of 18 and 23. They will be a full-time student. And in total, here at Eastern, we do have roughly 628 athletes total. So I'm going to try to get at least 25% of athletes to answer the survey, and that will be around 200 students. Next, we have the research design. So this is a descriptive type of study, and that's because nothing is being manipulated in this study. I'm just collecting data without changing the environment. So moving on to data collection, all students will have 4 weeks to complete the survey from the time that they received it. They will get a reminder after 2 weeks to ensure that they do finish it in a timely manner, and we're hoping to get that 25% participation rate. The university is going to distribute the survey. The survey will be sent out through an electronic survey website, and the surveys will come back anonymous. There will be a time limit on when they can get the survey done, like I mentioned, in hopes to have everyone turn those in within those 4 weeks. The questions within the survey are going to be based off demographics. So, we're wanting to know age, ethnicity, gender, things like that. And then, of course, we are going to ask about anxiety and depression, mental health questions. So there are many anxiety and depression scales out there. So we will just use anxiety and depression questions that already exist. And then, of course, we will ask their sport. I want to know if they've ever received help before. So when asking those questions, the t-test will be with the means of male and female, and then the chi-square test will be for the type of sport that they're in, and then we'll compare their depression and anxiety scores to those. So as mentioned before, a survey will be used for this study. The goal of this survey is to see how many college student athletes report that they have mental health issues, as well as if they have received any help. There will be no pre-survey and post-survey at this time, because for right now, I would just like to strictly see if there's even an issue with college student athletes struggling with mental health. So if I do find that it's common for these athletes that struggle with mental health, we could look into creating a health program and evaluating the athletes after to see if it helped. But for right now, I'm just trying to collect that data. So within the data analysis, there are 2 different types of statistics I will be using. The first one, I will utilize inferential statistics like a chi-square test and a t-test to investigate relationships and differences related to help-seeking behavior among college athletes. And I will use descriptive statistics to give an overview of my data and use measures of tendency to summarize those mental health scores. Using this all-inclusive method will help me to help carefully examine and evaluate my results that I get through this survey. So to share my data findings, I will be using a table to display data, um, like the number of student athletes that have reported mental illness. So to share my findings, I think that using a table is the easiest way to understand data that is being presented to you. When looking at similar surveys, I did notice that people conducting their research presented their findings in different charts, and they were confusing and hard to understand. So I feel like a table is a good way to compare different groups or variables and also easy to understand and read. I could also use a bar graph or pie chart, but I do prefer tables, and I think that they are the most user friendly. Well, thank you all for listening, and I'm excited to hear everyone else's presentation. Thank you.